Once upon a mystery, there lived a small family on the Isle of Man. The island, located off the Irish Sea, between England and Eire, was no stranger to the bizarre or the baffling. With the Mongoose and the surprisingly short-tailed Manx cat, there were already an array of monsters and misfits to sate even the scrawniest supernatural appetite. In 1931, the Irving family, consisting of James, his wife Margaret, and their daughter Voirrey, were happily living in their hamlet homestead, when, out of the ether, they began to hear scratching and sniffing noises from their attic. At first they thought nothing of it. Rats, trapped birds, it could have been anything. But they noticed over the coming weeks that a small voice began to emanate from their rooftop storage. In fact, it even began to mimic Mr. Irving. Eventually, Voirrey decided to take a look. As she crept up the crawl space into the attic, she saw before her a creature, stood upright, looking right at her. Much like a cat, it appeared fluffy to the touch, and showed no sign of fear or aggression. "Hello," said the creature in perfect English. "My name's Jeff, and I'm an extra clever mongoose." Voirrey almost fell back down the ladder. She called for her parents, who quickly joined her. Jeff explained that he was simply an earthbound spirit, searching for friends. "I am a freak," he admitted plainly. "I have hands and I have feet, and if you saw me, you'd faint. You'd be petrified, mummified, turned into stone or a pillar of salt." Jeff had been born in New Delhi, India, in 1853. To make friends, he often sang songs from his homeland, which the Irvings grew to enjoy. In fact, they became great friends with Jeff. He had been living in the walls of the house for so long, he enjoyed wandering as he wandered about the house. Jeff didn't like to be alone, but he knew that often the Irvings would have to leave, whether for work or school. While they were out, he would often perform the tasks associated with a house cat, protecting the property, patrolling it for pests, and generally looking after the farmhouse. To entertain his new friends, he would often make jokes or perform little shows for them. Once, however, after he thought it would be fun to play dead, the Irvings scolded him and threatened to leave, so he was sure never to take the jokes too far again. Another time, Mrs. Irving was stroking Jeff and cut herself on his sharp claws. He was terrified and immediately saw to her wound, because he was a very caring creature indeed. The Irvings loved Jeff and didn't so much as question what or who he was. But then the British press and locals became interested. The story was featured in many of the tabloids, and even Harry Price, the famous paranormal investigator, visited to see if he could meet Jeff, but to no avail. People assumed that Jeff was a hoax, either ventriloquism on the part of Voirrey, perhaps an escaped mongoose or dog, or even a poltergeist. Regardless, the Irving family left the farmhouse in 1937, and it is assumed, as they were such a close family, that Jeff left with them. Sadly, in 2005, Voirrey passed away, but she made it clear before she died that the story of Jeff, the talking mongoose, was never a lie. What do you think? Was Jeff a mongoose or simply a manifestation?